Hello everyone, Alistair Gold here. So, back-to-back victories to talk about. That's a positive, but it's Tottenham Hotspur, so there's always some weird, strange stuff that happens as well. I did two games, covered two matches yesterday. Won the under-19s at Hotspur Way in UEFA Youth League, and then later went on to the first team game. Both games had elements where Spurs were completely in control, and then elements where Spurs were completely out of control. I guess it wouldn't be Tottenham Hotspur unless there's something to talk about that isn't quite normal. But that's Tottenham Hotspur for you. It kind of showed both ends of the quality spectrum. I'll always say this, that when Sonny or Harry Kane are on form, either of them, Spurs invariably will win the match. If you've got both of them on form, you're pretty much guaranteed you're going to win the game. It's very rare that the two of them are firing on all cylinders and Spurs lose the game because they can pretty much outscore the opposition. They just kind of, when that link up is going, it is telepathic. As Sonny said after the game, because this was their 50th goal combination as well as a pairing. That is ridiculous. That's, setting each other up to score. Sonny said, "We just understand each other really well. I know what he likes to do and he's the same with me. The relationship, it's always hard work and good effort. It's always been a payoff for hard work. Many more to come, I hope." Sonny was brilliant. Sonny was unplayable at parts of the night. Obviously, named man of the match by UEFA as well. He was so good. I felt sorry almost for Frankfurt defender Tuta because I can just imagine him waking up in the middle of last night, in a cold sweat, kind of just having nightmares about having faced Sonny because, it did really happen, kind of thing. Because the amount of times he just flew down that left-hand side. When Sonny has got his confidence behind him, he absolutely flies with that ball. That's why it's so strange when you watch him and he has a heavy first touch and he gives it away. Because when he is on his game, it's so difficult to stop him. He's got an extra yard of pace in his feet as well. He's just, last night was one of those nights where he was superb. And poor old Tuta. He didn't have a hope in hell, really, of stopping him. And what did he get? It was within 3 minutes, his 2 yellow cards. One for a tackle where he just was so late to trying to stop him getting through. And the second one, he was pretty much trying to swap shirts with him during the game. His first goal was really nice. It was one of those where in the past, maybe when Sonny's had time to think about something when he's running through, you maybe slightly worry that he might score. But when he's firing, they're the kind of goals that they just fly in. And he did. It was lovely. I think it was good work from Richarlison, if I remember correctly. He got the ball across to Kane. He kind of took it into his kind of feet as he was. I think he just had to reach a little bit for it, but he turned so quickly, played one of those trademark through balls to Son. That's when he's in quarterback mode, when he just sees his wide receivers flying on and he just pings the ball through. And it was such a nice ball, perfectly into his path. He runs on. And like I say, Sonny maybe could have had a dip in confidence between, because obviously he hadn't scored in the two games after the Leicester hat-trick, but he was absolutely flying. He did. He just went through, right foot, wasn't it, into the bottom corner. Really nice finish. Nothing Trapp could do about it. He had a claim for a penalty himself as well, which is a tough one. I wouldn't say it was quite as stonewall as the Kane one, but he had a shout. He did have a shout. I think it's one of those where maybe it looks slightly more shoulder to shoulder. It was a difficult one, that one. It could have been given. In any other time, it might have been given. But then, to be honest, Sonny's second goal, what a goal. The very underrated Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, I will continue to back him, despite those who decide that he's not good enough, which I still can't. Honestly, I'd say he's been Spurs player of the season so far. I'm putting it out there. I think he has. I think in terms of the consistency of his performances, I do. What's he got now? Three assists, 2 goals in his 13 games. So he's provided goal contributions almost half the total of his games, and he's a central midfielder that isn't really known for that. I think it's superb. I think it was a real leader last night as well again. And when he went off, it started to get really nervy. I don't think there's any, him and Bentancur actually, when they both went off. But yeah, this moment of beautiful football gets down the right, shows how you're curling a beautiful dinked kind of cross from the right hand side, and Sonny had just pulled back just kind of away from the defenders. Oh my goodness, the technique to catch that ball with his left foot was beautiful. It was just one of those volleys that, you know, I do wonder whether it'll end up being the goal of the round, as it were. So maybe one to keep an eye out for as well. He actually described it afterwards. He said, I think he told BT Sport this, when the ball came to me, Pierre saw me before he crossed it. The ball was just really clear to me and there was only one option to take the volley. I hit it really clean. I was very happy. It was brilliant. Brilliant. One of those where you make that face, don't you? You kind of watch it back on the replay and go, ooh, ooh. It was just superb. What was quite interesting after the game, in a way, was that Conte was two things. He was so frustrated with the way the game ended, and also I think he was trying to protect Kane a little bit as well, because, you know, there was questions about the second penalty, which, you know, went straight into the South Stand, and he didn't really praise Sonny too much, and he had a few chances to do so. In the press conference, he was asked a couple of times about, especially that second goal as well. I think Spurs TV, or Spurs Play nowadays it's called, they asked him about it. And I feel like maybe in the BT interview, I can't remember. But yeah, he kind of used it to have a bit of, kind of press home the point that, look, those wonderful moments could have been cancelled out by the silly performance at the end of the game. And I get it. He's desperately trying to stamp the fact on this that, yeah, that was all great. But you've got to learn from what happened. And I think that's, I suppose, the measure of a coach. And I think what's got to be remembered is Conte loves Sonny. Conte has constantly said Sonny is absolutely world-class, one of the best players that he's worked with. That's not in doubt. It's not like he was snubbing Sonny or anything. And I think maybe he just felt like this was one of those nights where he didn't need to keep saying it. Because don't forget, during those kind of times when Sonny was having a little bit, by his own admission, was having a bit of a tougher time early in the season, Conte was there every week, doing kind of what he did with Kane yesterday, constantly saying, what are you worrying about? Sonny's class, kind of thing, and constantly having his back. And maybe that's the consistency that he doesn't now need to say that he's incredible. You know, it's just, maybe it's just a platitude. But I just think that was interesting. Have a little look back. Look at the transcripts I put out. Look at the various interviews. Every time he's asked about Sonny in the game, it's like, no, I'm going to use this as a lesson. Don't let that be cancelled out, that brilliant moment.